Suddenly, a boulder at the top of the mountain begins to fall, heading straight for Dongwo's head. But Gita slices it apart effortlessly. Gita says that, unfortunately, as a contracted beast, he will protect Dongwo no matter what happens. Out of nowhere, a bear appears to attack Dongwo, but it gets blasted with a laser to the face. The dragon apologizes, saying he's not doing this intentionally. Night falls, and the bear becomes dinner. Dongwo, now full, picks up his sword and tells the dragon that it's best for him to recharge too. He slashes, activating a dimensional space. As they are about to enter, Dongwo begins dismantling the sword. He says that at dusk, they'll head east in search of the Demon Tower. Even though it's a vague objective, it's the only option he has. And if that's the case, what else can he do? But then, he senses someone approaching. The person places a blade to his neck and asks if the handsome one is planning to leave without saying goodbye. It's Mujin, who says there's a celebration happening in Yun's territory, yet the true hero is trying to run away. Dongwo asks why Wujin isn't drinking there instead of coming here. But Wujin ignores him, demanding to know Dongwo's true purpose in coming to the Yun kingdom. The protagonist notices Wujin's fury, but also realizes he has no intention of killing him. Wujin keeps pressing, asking about his connection to humans and why he knows so much about them. Why does the Thunder Dragon follow him, and why did that human weapon fly into his hand? Dongwo grabs his sword and reveals that he is human. He pushes Wujin's arm aside and says it's a pity, but Wujin can't kill him now. After all, dying wouldn't be a bad thing for him. Wujin responds that he's noticed Dongwo is always seeking death and doesn't understand why. From the trouble with his father to the events in the cave, Wujin doesn't get why Dongwo wants this. Dongwo reveals that dying is the only way for him to return to being human, which he originally was, though strangely he ended up in this demon body. Wujin then asks why Dongwo killed that human captain if he didn't need to save anyone. He could have simply died at the hands of that man and thus returned to being human. A human army would have won, and Dongwo probably would have gotten what he wanted. Wujin has a point. It's true. But Dongwo replies that it's not about the side he's on, but about the things he believes in. He couldn't tolerate something as evil as that. Wujin releases Dongwo's neck and says it's humans who keep bringing misery to their territory, bringing death and destruction, and they even killed his mother. That's why he hates humans and believes they all deserve to die, and Dongwo deserves to die along with them. But deep down, he really hoped Dongwo was still a demon. The dragon tells Dongwo that he can feel Wujin seeking a bit of comfort, but Dongwo remains cold, simply saying he's leaving. The dragon asks if he's really not going to say anything, but Dongwo says he can't form any connections. That's when Wujin reveals that in a week, there will be the Alliance Tournament, the most important competition among the 18 demon nations. A battle where each nation must send 2 demons, and obviously the strongest will appear, including numerous S-class demons. If Dongwo truly wanted to die that much, this would be a perfect opportunity. Even though he's the strongest in the Yun Kingdom, he shouldn't underestimate the entire demon race. Dongwo seems intrigued and asks if participants in this tournament can really kill each other. Wujin confirms, saying that the participants have no fear of death because they carry the pride of their nation. Obviously, in Yun's current state, no one wants to risk their life. And that's why the Demon Lord allowed both of them to participate. Wujin was going to help Dongwo come up with a strategy to die. However, the Demon King couldn't let anyone else kill him. Only Wujin could deliver the final blow when the time came. Dongwo stayed silent but immediately agreed. It was exactly what he wanted. Wujin explained that the Demon Alliance was composed of 18 kingdoms. That was said that the world's powers came from mysterious regions, and currently, the demons controlled 2 of them. The Alliance gathering served 2 purposes: to bring all the leaders to one place and to determine the leader of the entire Demon Alliance. The method for this was the tournament, held once every 3 years. The demon world was fair. Whoever was strongest reigned supreme. Only the victor of the final battle could lead the demon race. But obviously, it was also a stage for the strong kingdoms to showcase their power. Bingmi explained that the beauty of the tournament had faded. Now all the kingdoms that participated were full of schemes, only attending for their own interests. To guarantee victory, they sent the most ruthless demons and used the lowest methods. So much so that in the last tournament, only 5 of the 36 participants survived. Of course, none of the demons sent by the Young Kingdom returned alive. She said it wasn't too late for them to back out. She could write a letter ensuring they wouldn't participate. But upon looking, the 2 had already disappeared. Poor Bingmi, they were already gone. Dongwo was looking out the window of the airship, seeing the Flame Kingdom for the first time. The airship was futuristic but was being carried by the dragon, combining nature and technology perfectly. We then see the capital of the Flame City known as Beiji. Bingmi mentioned how much the place had changed in just a few years. She said they should check in quickly since there was going to be a banquet that night. But once again, the 2 had disappeared. Dongwo was intrigued by the exotic fruits around. Meanwhile, Wujin swore to himself that he would deliver the final blow. Wujin was eyeing a shop while Dongwo was more interested in legendary fruits. The vendor explained that the fruit was cultivated in demonic fields and had instant recovery effects. It was an extremely rare item known as watermelon. Wujin, on the other hand, was amazed that a street shop had so many ranked weapons, while the Young Kingdom had to use secret factories to produce special weapons. The shopkeeper chimed in, commenting about the Young Kingdom, saying it couldn't even compare to the Flame Kingdom. The Flame Kingdom had more power, resources, a stronger economy, and much larger land. He asked if Dongwo was there to watch the tournament. Dongwo was about to say yes, but before he could answer, a girl next to him made a noise. This was one of the competitors from the Yu Kingdom. Yun Kingdom adds an N, remember? Xiang Lin commented that the Yu Kingdom must have run out of talent if they were sending someone like him. Wu Jun was furious, but the girl simply turned to the vendor, ordering him to pack all the ranked items and send them to the Xianbala Hotel. She handed him the money and said she was looking forward to seeing if the Yu Kingdom could surprise anyone this year. It would be nice if they were different from the past, as the only opponent for her was her own kingdom. Wu Jun sensed that the girl was clearly a ranked demon. Later at the hotel, he told Bing Yi that the people in this region were far too arrogant. She replied that it was to be expected. No one would be friendly right before a championship. The truth was that when these tournaments first began, most kingdoms had similar strength. But over time, the Flame Kingdom, Yu Kingdom, and Lei Kingdom kept accumulating power. And as the saying goes, the strong get stronger, especially considering that these three kingdoms almost always alternated victories among themselves. The prize for the competition was a stone that allowed a demon to advance to rank S. The winner also became the commander of the 18 armies, gaining the right to use the Alliance's mines. Dongwu seemed impressed by something. Mamie said they had arrived at the greatest pride of the entire demon race. Just then, someone appeared behind them. A man pushing a girl in a wheelchair asked if this was the Changbala Hotel. Xiang Lin commented that she'd run into those weirdos buying watermelons again. Wu Jun was already losing his temper, ready to hit her. But Bing Yi calmly told him not to fall for the trap, reminding him that the tournament was about to begin. Meanwhile, Dongwu was talking to some people who said they were from the Mist Kingdom. Dongwu warned them not to go easy on him if they encountered him in the tournament. Bing Yi, seeing this, suggested they leave quickly. But suddenly, she felt a strange energy behind her and her backpack flew off. Dongwu didn't seem too concerned, wondering where the invisible thief was. But the guy from the Mist Kingdom stepped forward, telling Dongwu to watch his sister. He closed his eyes, exuding a blue energy, spread his arms, and summoned energy behind him. Suddenly, they were in a sea of energy. He opened his eyes and said, "Found them." He stretched his hand, launching an ice attack, and froze the invisible thief's foot. As soon as the thief looked up, Wu Jun was right in front of him, declaring that such behavior must be punished violently. The guy immediately reveals that he's from the Fallen Kingdom, and just begs not to be handed over to the guards. Meanwhile, Dongwu praises the boy for easily finding the invisible thief. Bing Yi thanks him too and asks if he's already rank S. The boy, named Lacey, says the Mist Kingdom has never had a ranks demon, but he's working hard toward it. The scene shifts to inside the hotel, where they all enter. They're registering while a guard mentions that apparently everyone has arrived. A man in a white suit nearby says it's time for the preliminaries to begin. Walking through the corridors, people comment on how crowded the place is today. Looking at the clock, Bing Yi remarks that they'll miss the banquet at this rate. Dongwu, while walking, finds it strange that they sent a wheelchair user to compete. Finally, it's their turn, but Bing Yi calls the Mist group over, telling them to go ahead. The receptionist asks for their documents, wondering why they're not already in hand. A bit embarrassed, Lacey hands over the documents and asks if she's referring to these. But suddenly, everyone starts murmuring about someone arriving. A man lounging in a chair comments that every time this guy shows up, it's a spectacle. Who's this now? Oh, here comes Lin and Lai from the Lei Kingdom. The man was the biggest star, and apparently, they sent a wheelchair user just so she'd die in combat. Or not, look at her serious expression as she speaks. As they enter, one of the guards approaches the line and orders everyone to move aside. The guard even tells Lacey to get out of the way. Lacey doesn't respond, and the guard throws him aside. The girl calls out to him but feels a hand on her shoulder. It's Dongwu staring seriously. The receptionist tells Lin Lai that his mother can skip registration entirely. Lin Lai replies, telling his siblings to escort his mother while he handles the check-in. And out of nowhere, he's hit by Dongwu. As he stumbles into the arms of the guards, Dongwu picks up Lacey's sister and places her back in line, declaring that they would go first. The receptionist is utterly confused, unsure what to do. Meanwhile, the man in the white suit is eagerly anticipating the show. The problem is that Dongwu has taken a risk, forgetting the title Lin Lai holds, the most powerful of all demons. Lin Li asks if he was really pushed. He approaches Dongwu, commenting on his bravery. But Dongwu completely ignores him, only asking the receptionist if there's an issue with the documents. Lin Li places a hand on Dongwu's shoulder and asks if he can't hear him speaking. Clearly, Lin Lai is exerting a tremendous force, but nothing is happening. Wu Jun mutters that Dongwu should rip his hand off. Lin Li pauses for a moment and lets out a Joker-style laugh. Even Wu Jun feels the pressure. Lin Lai, now excited, says he admires Dongwu's courage. He finds his power fascinating and can't wait to see his abilities. But suddenly, someone raises a hand, asking Mr. Lin not to do this, as he would be disqualified. It's a short demon who declares that Lin Lai is a super VIP and doesn't even need to be in the common registration area. Lin Lai should already be in the luxurious suites and shouldn't concern himself with these lowly people. After all, the common quarters are only for smaller kingdoms. Lin Lai retreats, saying he understands, and bids farewell to the two, stating that the competition awaits. Woojin approaches the receptionist, asking how long they'll